You are watching KEVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman.
And I'm Trenton Whiting.
Victoria County, a quick reminder for residents. The Victoria County Commissioner Court will hold its regular meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. The meeting would take place at 115 in Bridge Street, room 241. On the agenda, commissioners will discuss railroad crossing road closures, Levi Road, and a proposed permanent road closure within Victoria County.
Those who want to vote have a little less than a month to make sure that they can. The deadline to register to vote is April 3rd, and early voting begins on April 22nd, which is also the last day to apply for ballot by mail. Election day is May 3rd. Bloomington is having an incorporation election to become a city in Victoria County. Bernadette Walker is running to become the mayor of Bloomington. Sarah Stint and Ernest Longoria are running for commissioner seats 1 and 2. The city of Seadrift is holding an election for mayor and city council. Lori Stafford Thomas runs unopposed for mayor, while Kenneth Reese, Richard Battles, Tracy Johnson, Tanya Cunningham, Randall Kane, and Christy Kosser are running for 3 vacant city council positions. The city of Victoria is holding a mayoral election between incumbent Dwayne Crocker and repeat challenger Jacob Salceda. And that'll lead us to our viewer poll for tonight, which is what race or issue is bringing you to the polls for this May 3rd election. And, you know, we've got a lot of things we're looking at here in the crossroads, like the mayoral races, the incorporation election in Bloomington, got city councils or tax venue. And it looks like a lot of people are definitely still focused on the tax venue election. Tax is always a big topic around election season, and 31% of people just not voting at all. But thank you for voting in our viewer poll at the very least, and we go ahead and make sure you continue to do that by coming to crossroadstoday.com/vote.
Yes. Now let's go to, well, not Trey, Jacob, with our first look at our forecast. Jacob, how is our weather going to be looking like this week? I heard it's going to be real hot.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a warm one this week, but let's enjoy this cooler weather while we have it. 52 degrees is what we're currently looking at, but we're looking at this high pressure system out to our east that is going to be making its way west or eastward, and we're going to start seeing a bit of an increase, but I'll have more of that in our forecast here later in the show. Amaya?
Thank you, Jacob. Now, officials held a press conference after a small plane crashed in southern Pennsylvania this afternoon. Multiple people were injured due to the crash. The Bencraft went down in the parking lot of retirement community in Menham Township shortly after takeoff from Lancaster Airport and burst into flames. Officials confirmed that 5 people on board the plane were transported to local hospitals. Their conditions are unknown at this time. There were no injuries on the ground, and the plane did not strike any part of the structures. However, officials says at least a dozen vehicles in the parking lot were damaged in the fire. 5 of them sustained severe damage.
A Beechcraft Bonanza crashed here on the property of Brethren Village. 5 passengers were on board. All 5 passengers were transported by local EMS agencies to local hospitals for treatment.
The FAA is still investigating.
Secret Service personnel shot a man outside of the White House Sunday. The agency said it already had information about the man, who they say was armed and reportedly suicidal. Agents saw a man matching his description and approached his car. As they did, officers said the man brandished a firearm, resulting in multiple shots fired. The person was taken to the hospital. His condition remains unknown. The U.S. Secret Service said there were no injuries to members of their personnel.
Now to the battle against wildfires that went raging on New York's Long Island. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the latest.
This morning, firefighters on New York's Long Island battling a dangerous outbreak of brush fires, at least 4 raging along the Sunrise Highway.
Holy
Cars driving past thick smoke, flames erupting on the side of the road, at least 1 firefighter injured.
A second-degree burn on the face of one of our firefighters. I hope that's extended.
And so far, at least 2 structures damaged.
I have a building on fire now.
Multiple roads forced to close, including the main highway that leads to the Hamptons. Massive plumes of smoke visible for miles. New York Governor Kathy Hochul declaring a state of emergency.
We always have to be prepared for the worst.
The National Guard providing air support with helicopters doing water drops, dozens of fire departments responding, battling the flames up close. The combination of low humidity and strong wind gusts fanning the flames, the National Weather Service issuing an elevated fire risk.
A South Carolina woman is facing charges for allegedly allowing a fire in her yard to spark a major wildfire near Myrtle Beach. The Covington Drive fire has burned 2,000 acres and is only 55% contained. This fire is still going. She was arrested after witnesses reported that she started the fire on March 1st despite a statewide burn ban. If convicted, she faces up to 30 days in jail and a hefty fine.
A mother and son have been arrested in Des Moines, Iowa after authorities discovered more than 50 cats and a dog living in their motel room, some of which were dead and decomposing. Bo Bowman has the details.
It was here at a room at the Motel 6 just off of Northeast 14th Street in Des Moines where officers seized 52 cats and a dog and arrested their owners. The investigation started on January 3rd. Des Moines police were called out to Unit 221 at the Motel 6, where they found 9 dead cats in, quote, various stages of decomposition, owned by Melissa Leverich and her son, Damon Chaplin.
The first thing that hits you is the odor in the room.
During that visit, they also impounded 32 cats they say were living in extremely poor conditions, including flea infestations. Pictures filed as exhibits in a petition show the living conditions. Cats everywhere you look. Officers allowed them to keep 5 cats and a dog that was also living in the motel room, as long as Leverich and Chaplin got the animals proper veterinarian care.
And when we went back, we found that she'd actually acquired more cats.
During a follow-up about a week later, officers found there were now 20 additional cats living in the room. At that time, all the cats and dogs were surrendered by Leverich and Chaplin and taken to the ARL. Court documents show this is the second time Leverich has faced legal trouble for harboring excessive animals. In 2023, she was issued a city code violation for possessing 36 cats in the same motel room.
We understand when we investigate these cases that there is, a odd compassion that the people think they're sharing for these animals by bringing them in out of the elements, but it just gets to that point where it gets away from them and it gets too far out there for them to handle.
Both Leverich and Chaplin are being held at the Polk County Jail, each of them on a $4,000 cash bond. In Des Moines, Bo Bowman, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Texas lawmakers have once more vowed to provide tax relief to property owners, and the House and Senate have so far agreed to spend at least $6 billion in state funds to do so. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website at crossroadstoday.com.
And for more on today's news story, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Estrain and Parker Cox will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we can recognize them. Coming up, Americans are ramping up the Tesla takedown movement against Elon Musk. All this and more coming up.
And temperatures are cooling down here, but how long is that cool spell going to last? We'll have more on that here in a bit.
Welcome back. Americans are continuing to take part in the Tesla takedown movement against Elon Musk. Protests against Elon Musk and his role in the U.S. government took place outside the Tesla showroom in the Boston area on Sunday. Organizers voiced concerns over Musk's power and the lack of oversight for the Department of Government Efficiencies. The protests, led by local activist musicians, are part of a growing movement across the nation. The weekly protest planned in Boston.
Pro-Ukrainian protesters were spotted on Saturday outside the Cincinnati home of Vice President J.D. Vance. The group was waving Ukrainian flags and carrying signs attacking Vance's previous statements about the war in Ukraine. The vice president says he was walking with his 3-year-old daughter yesterday when protesters started to follow and shout at them, scaring his daughter. Vance says he then decided to talk to the protesters, hoping that after a conversation they would leave him and his child alone. Vance leaving some strong words for the protesters on X, saying that it was a mostly respectful conversation, but he does not believe any political protest should involve chasing a 3-year-old.
Canada's Liberal Party has a new leader. On Sunday, voters elected Mark Carney to replace Justin Trudeau. However, Trudeau will remain as Canada's Prime Minister for an undisclosed period while Carney settles in. Carney will now be expected to lead the party into the next federal election. Those must take place before October, but could be called even sooner. The ruling Liberal Party faces an uphill battle. Recent polls show the Conservative Party is leading ahead of those elections. Canada is facing increasing pressures from President Trump. The president is threatening to slap steep tariffs on Canada and has even suggested making Canada the first 50 state of the U.S.
The stock market is erasing all of the gains it had made since Election Day amid a chaotic week of on-again, off-again tariffs. The president dismissing concerns, but critics say it is creating uncertainty for the businesses and the economy. Here's ABC's Allison Kosick with the details.
President Trump offering no clarity following a confusing week in which he imposed and then postponed tariffs against Canada and Mexico.
The tariffs could go up as time goes by, and they may go up, and, I don't know if it's predictability.
Tariffs went into effect on all imports from Mexico and Canada last Tuesday, the president then announcing a 1-month reprieve for the auto industry the next day. Then, on Thursday, delaying tariffs on other goods for 1 month as well. And now, the president threatening to impose steep tariffs on Canadian dairy and lumber as early as tomorrow. The administration says it is using these tariffs to launch a drug war against fentanyl coming across our borders, not a trade war with Canada and Mexico.
As we've watched them make progress on the drug war, then we've relaxed some of the tariffs that we've put on them.
Yet less than 1% of fentanyl that enters the U.S. comes from Canada, and Mexico says seizures have declined 50% between October and January. ABC's Matt Rivers was there as Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum addressed the crowd at a planned protest that became more of a celebration.
Thousands of people here in the heart of Mexico City to hear from Mexico's president and what was supposed to be a rally against U.S. tariffs that's turned into a victory lap of sorts for her after those tariffs were postponed.
Democrats say Trump's policies are only going to cause prices to go up.
They're destroying the economy, and they're making it harder and harder for Americans to afford things.
The president has declined to rule out the possibility that we could see a recession.
There is a period of transition because what we're doing is very big. It takes a little time.
Allison Kosick, ABC News, New York.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is heading to Saudi Arabia. According to a statement from the U.S. Department of State, Secretary Rubio will visit Saudi Arabia from March 10 to 12 for talks with Ukrainian counterparts.
Now, the discussion comes after Rubio spoke with the Ukrainian foreign minister on Friday and said President Donald Trump wanted to end the Russian-Ukraine war as soon as possible. In addition to the meeting with Ukrainian counterparts, Secretary Rubio is expected to have a meeting with Saudi Crown Prince And the President Volodymyr Zelensky confirmed that he will also visit Saudi Arabia for a Monday meeting with Mohammed bin Salman. According to the Department of State, after his travels to Saudi Arabia, Secretary Rubio is scheduled to visit Canada from March 12th to 14th to participate in the G7 Foreign Ministry meeting. Now experience our digital streaming service Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
And we're experiencing a cool down here in the Crossroads, but we may get a glimpse of summer here later this week. I'll have more on that after the break. Well, good evening, Crossroads. I hope you're enjoying this little cool down we have right now because it's really not going to last that long. We're actually going to maybe see a glimpse of summer here this week. Currently, we're sitting at 52 degrees with the winds coming out of the north at 8 miles per hour, and that's going to keep us a bit cool here tonight and into tomorrow as well. Here's that low pressure system that actually just made its way out of here, and we had that front that moved in here on Sunday, but we're looking right here at this high pressure system. That's going to be moving eastward, and that's going to be a bit of a blockage here for our cooler temperatures here later in the week. But we're going to see some clear skies here today as well as tomorrow, which is going to, well, cause for some beautiful weather, to be honest with you. It's going to be great weather. We are looking at a little front possibly moving in through the northern parts of Texas, but it's not going to reach down here. We're not going to see any glimpse or sign of warm or cooler temperatures here this week, so that's going to pass on by. We're going to see more cloud cover here Thursday, but Friday we're looking over here at another low pressure system that's going to be moving eastward, and we may see a bit of a cool down here coming into this weekend, so there may be a little bit of hope for us here for the cool down. But tomorrow morning, 43 degrees, so we're going to need a jacket here tomorrow morning. I know we've been kind of getting used to the spring weather, but it's going to be a bit cool here in the morning, and by about midday, 1 o'clock, we're going to see upper 60s, mid-upper 60s here around lunchtime, and we're going to cap out at about the 70s. So I think tomorrow's going to be one of the more beautiful days with those clear skies, and right around the 70s, I don't think you can beat that. Temperatures are going to drop back down at around 11 here at 54 degrees, and we're going to see temperatures tomorrow or Tuesday morning at around 50. This may be the last day where we need a little light jacket here as we wake up, because we're going to get up to the 80s here around Karnes City and Beeville, 75 here in Victoria, 77 up in Hallettsville. And, well, it's going to be a bit of a warm one here on Wednesday. 60 degrees is what we'll be waking up to, but we're going to see temperatures right around 90 degrees here in Beeville, 83 here in Victoria around that daytime high, 86 in Yoakum. And, well, Thursday it's going to be a bit of a warmer day as well. Wind speeds, though, we're going to be remaining calm here throughout Monday because of that high pressure system moving eastward, but those winds are going to shift back out of the southeast with the Gulf Coast moisture ruling in more moisture, and those wind speeds are also going to pick up. We're going to see about 15 to 20 mile per hour winds here Tuesday and into Wednesday, so do be prepared for a little messy hair day on Tuesday and Wednesday. There we go, 20 mile per hour winds here in Victoria. But those next 5 days, let's just say hot. 75, 80, 84, 90, and 93 here Friday. It's going to be a hot one, that's for sure, here in the Crossroads. So, yeah, I'm not enjoying it, but other people might enjoy it. For Lavaca, for your daily planner, though, 47 degrees, will be waking up, 73 as the high with clear skies, beautiful day. Cuero as well, 41 degrees, calm winds, 76 degrees as well as here in Victoria. But those next 7 days, brutal. It's going to be a bit warm here Thursday and Friday, but we do have that front coming in here Friday into Saturday, and it's going to be a bit of a cool off. So don't forget to download the QR code to get live updates on sports, more news, and weather. We'll have more after the break.
All right, the Gulf Coast Invitational wrapped up for the UHV girls softball team. See how they did and more coming up in sports. Crossroads, it seems like the powerlifting scene here is quite big when talking about our athletes. And today, we're taking you all the way to Yoakum, where River Bergman has qualified for state in his regional power meet. River is also the lineman for the Yoakum Bulldogs, and we've talked to him a few times in our CFL post show. Big congrats to River and the Yoakum Bulldogs. The UHV girls softball team were in action this past weekend at the Gulf Coast Invitational. They had 2 matchups yesterday. Their first matchup, they beat the Cumberlands. Final score, 5-0. Audric Sayez had 2 strikeouts. Claire Blinka went 2 for 3. Their second game, which became their last, was Georgia State, and they lost. Final score, 7-5. The third matchup was against College St. Mary, and that game was canceled, unfortunately. They end the weekend with 1 victory out of 4 games played. And we have the highlights and the results from the Big Texas basketball night, which saw the Houston Cougars take on the Baylor Bears. Houston's L.J. Cryer made his 3rd triple in this play right here. Houston's 3-point action didn't just end there either, as Milos Uzan sinks another 3. But Baylor did come to play and make it tough for the Houston as Jaden Nunn smoothly makes his way into the lane for an easy layup. The Cougars did go on to win this game. Final score, 65-61. And staying out in Houston on the hardwood, the Rockets' victory against the New Orleans Pelicans did come with some hardship. One of their young stars, Amen Thompson, rolls his ankle on the way down from a mid-range shot. His defender is seen kind of limiting his landing room from the looks of it, and there was no flagrant foul called. The play did keep on going as Thompson stayed on the floor for a good while of time. This injury is very crucial. The Rockets' wing rotation is in need of help to help the Rockets secure some home court in the postseason. And for some NFL news, Texas A&M alumni Myles Garrett has re-signed with the Cleveland Browns. This is a 4-year extension worth $40 million a year. $123 million is guaranteed. This contract now makes Garrett the most paid player that's not a quarterback in NFL history. MLB and Astro fans, you can now prepare to get ready for some baseball as this season as spring training has begun. And here's Astros taking on the Marylands. And which means what better way to see players such as Jordan Alvarez warm up for the season to come by making what seems to be an easy home run. And there you see him jolting across the field. The Astros did go on to lose this spring game. It's just a warm up, no big deal here. Final score, 10-6. Tomorrow they will face the Blue Jays at noon. And the Texas women's basketball team found themselves in the SEC championship today. And South Carolina has been a juggernaut in the conference these last couple of seasons. So it wasn't going to be a cakewalk for the Longhorns. The Longhorns aren't just ranked number 1 for nothing, as they were only down by 2 at the end of the first quarter, but experience does play a role as South Carolina wins their 3rd straight SEC women's basketball state championship. Final score, 64-45. Chloe Kitts was the SEC tournament MVP. They still look ahead in the NCAA tournament, so it's warming up for some March Madness. But that does it for your sports. Amaya and Trenton.
Thank you, Ray. Now, blowing away with the competition, Key West crowned a new champion at the 62nd annual Conch Honk. Key West, Florida crowned a new winner at the 62nd annual Conch Honk Shell Blowing Contest held at the Otis House Museum and Garden. The event attracted over 30 competitors who showcased their skills with the iconic conch shell. Judges evaluate the contest on sound quality, duration, loudness, and novelty. This year winner, Jewel Jones, impressed the judge with her performance, and the free event presented by the Old Island Restoration and Foundation brought locals and visitors together to celebrate the enduring symbol of Florida Keys.
I bet that's an annoying competition.
What? I think it's an interesting one.
It's in a neighborhood, so I just wonder how many complaints they might have gotten talking about.
True.
Like, you know,
but it's in the Key West, though.
See?
It's in the Key West.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. I would love to blow a shell.
Yeah, well, fair
I
enough.
will.
Well,
How's the weather going to be looking, Jacob?
Those temperatures, they're going to be a bit warm. You're going to want to be in the Key West here Thursday and Friday, I'll say that. 90 degrees, 93 degrees with a bit of wind as well. We do have a little front here coming in this weekend, but we still got to get through these upcoming 2 days, but we are going to see some cooler weather here Tuesday morning, so we might need a light jacket here as you get out the door. So,
So are y'all ready for this heat?
Yeah, I mean, you always got to be ready in Texas.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah.
That's true. Absolutely.
Yes, I see. Well, thank you for joining us, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join Carolina Estrada and Parker Cox for 25 News Now Sunrise at 5.
Have a great night and a good week.